Come on, here we go again.
Joanne's iPhone. Joanne's MacBook Pro. Mobile device not found. Ready to pair.
Damn you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello. Crap.
Good morning, Fatu.
Hey, Danny.
Good morning.
All right.
Good morning.
So we're going to get started right away. Welcome and thank you for being here. My name is Fatu Sise, for those of you who don't know me. I am the owner at Kerasu Home Care, also the president at Kerasu All Things Alzheimer's. I'm really thrilled that you decide to spend your weekend with us to learn about Alzheimer's if you're not familiar with it, but also to invest in your own professional and personal development. So this summit is organized by Kerasu All Things Alzheimer's, which is a 501c3, it's a nonprofit. Our focus is to help exclusively those that are impacted by Alzheimer's. I want to thank you all for spending your time with us today so we could share our journey with you and also share our organization and what we do. Kerasu All Things Alzheimer's focus on three things. One of them is caregiver training, and the other one is adult day services. And our third program is brain health activities. So with adult day services, our main focus is to be able to help people stay longer at home. And by providing respite for their family members, that way they have a place to go to during the day and get services. This gives their families a peace of mind, knowing they're in a place where they are well taken care of. It also gives the quality of life to those that we serve because they're able to interact socially with other people who are in the center and be able to do some of the recreational activities that we provide with them. Adult day services are also important in the fact that it gives the person something to do and look forward to doing. And family members who are taking care of their loved ones at home always need a break, and this provides that as well. And the more they're able to get that break, the more they're also able to prolong their stay at home. Our caregiver training, for all who are in the care industry knows, caregiver training is incredibly important. A well-trained caregiver is able to identify issues that comes up with the client and address it head on. They're able to deliver the best care that they are able to do because they have the training to equip them. We also know that a lot of caregivers suffer from physical injuries that may arise through providing care. A well-trained caregiver is able to overcome those issues as well. And our brain health activity is geared towards anyone who would come into the center with the focus of strengthening their own cognition. So it's more like going to the gym, but to this place for your own brain health, not like the way you think of the gym, but it's the same. So these are the three programs that the Kerasu All Things Alzheimer's provides. And I also want to mention that while this summit was put together by Kerasu All Things Alzheimer's, it was also with the help of a lot of our Planning Committee, who we will introduce to you later during the day. At this point, I want to hand the meeting over to Binta Sisa, who will be our host today. Thank you.
Well, good morning. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Good
I hope
morning.
you can all hear me because it's technology. Well, thank you so much, Fatu. Good morning, everyone. My name is Binta Sise, and I'm honored to be hosting the first ever Aging Well Summit hosted by Kairosu, All Things Alzheimer's. Thank you all for being here with us. First, also, we want to ask everyone to take advantage of the Zoom chat feature as we begin this journey together. Please let us know in the chat where you're joining us from. I am in Madison, Wisconsin. Also, I would like to say some of you are appearing, but your names are not right. If you just kind of instructions in the chat for you to rename yourself, so that we can know who is here with us and it's not the same person multiple times. So if your name's, I think some people are appearing as Ozioma. If your name's appearing as Ozioma, you just want to hover over to go to the participant side, hover over, and then there's more options. Click on more and then rename yourself and give us your first and last name, which would be incredible. Thank you. And to kick us off for today, we have our First Lady, Kathy Evers. I'll just do a brief introduction before Kathy Evers. And First Lady Kathy Evers was born and raised in Plymouth, Wisconsin, and met her future husband, Governor Tony Evers, in kindergarten. They had their first date at the junior prom and have been married for more than 40 years. She joins us because of her special commitment to working for people with dementia and their caregivers. She and the entire staff at the governor's residence, along with many of their volunteer docents, received dementia-friendly training, and the residence is now, for the first time ever, designated a dementia-friendly site. For the holidays last year, the drawing room of the residence was decorated all in purple, and the tree in that room was decorated with photos contributed by Memory Care Cafe participants. She hosted a dementia-friendly decorating party and dementia-friendly tours of the residence. She and the governor have met with the leadership of the Wisconsin Alzheimer's Institute and the Wisconsin Alzheimer's Disease Research Center to discuss Wisconsin's preeminent research and service delivery methods. The First Lady plans to expand upon this work in the future and truly understands what people with dementia and their families need to live their best lives. So I present to you First Lady Kathy Evers.
Hello, I'm Wisconsin First Lady Kathy Evers. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the first annual Aging Well Summit, promoting healthy aging, brain health, and amplifying the voices of caregivers. As some of you know, the causes and effects of dementia have been a real focus of mine as First Lady. Along with Tony, I have worked to highlight the importance of research, early diagnosis, and caregiver support. This work has really brought home to me the number of people who are affected by Alzheimer's and other dementias. So I am truly thankful for sessions like these that share the latest information and best practices. I'm also glad to see the agenda for this weekend focuses on healthy lifestyles that improve brain health and the quality of life as we age. Research shows that good nutrition, sleep, physical activity, and social connection can keep us physically and mentally healthy, and they may help to stave off the progression of dementia and other diseases. It is essential for all of us to take time for these elements of self-care, especially so for caregivers. Therefore, it is wonderful that the organizers have built time into the activities this weekend for a little self-care. So much of how we deliver services has changed in the last 8 months because of COVID-19. However, I know that our collective goals of promoting healthy aging and of understanding, preventing, and caring for those with dementia remain constant. I hope you enjoy the meeting. I appreciate you and I applaud you for the work that you do. Thank you.
Next on the agenda, I have our very able Wisconsinite keynote speaker, and this is Miss Gina Green Harris. Miss Green Harris was named the inaugural director of the Center for Community Engagement and Health Partnerships in Milwaukee, CCEHP, and that is a newly created center to further advance research in African American community in a culturally inclusive manner. This office, oops. One moment. Okay. So our keynote speaker is Miss Green Harris, who was named the inaugural director of the Center for Community Engagement and Health Partnerships in Milwaukee. CCEHP is a newly created center to further advance research in the African American community in a culturally inclusive manner. This office builds upon the health equity work that Ms. Green Harris has been implemented over the past years at the UW for the Wisconsin Alzheimer's Institute's regional Milwaukee office, with the overall goal to introduce and integrate research programs that are culturally tailored to address the needs of the southeastern Wisconsin underserved and underrepresented communities. As the director of YMKE, she provides leadership and governance to guide and build the capacity of the WAI Milwaukee office, which is designed to provide outreach services, programs, resources, and to recruit African Americans into research using culturally tailored methods. Along with being director of the Milwaukee Regional Office, she also leads the health equity pillar of the WAI and serves as one of UW's MSPH Diversity Inclusion Ambassadors. Ms. Green Harris was recently appointed as the director and principal investigator of the Life Course Initiative for Healthy Families, a large community-based initiative of the Wisconsin SMPH to address the issue of infant mortality in the African American communities across Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha, Wisconsin. Ms. Green Harris is a recognized leader for her work by community leaders, executives, and researchers across Wisconsin and global leaders to learn about their outreach and recruitment model. And she has been recruited to serve on national think tanks, including most recently the National Institute of Health's National Strategy for Recruitment and Retention. Ms. Green Harris holds a master's degree in business administration and a Bachelor of Science in psychology. Please welcome our very own Ms. Gina Green Harris. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that lovely long introduction, Pinta. Yeah, that might be longer than my keynote, but yeah, thank you so much. You're over promising over there. So I want to thank you so much for being here, for allowing me actually to be in this space today. Thank you for Fatu for actually inviting me, and the planning committee for thinking of me and for this inaugural event. You know, it's something to be said to be chosen to be your first keynote speaker or first introduction or first speaker at an inaugural event. So I want to thank everyone for thinking of me to fill this space. And I also want to thank you for your leadership and your commitment for this work, even through what we know are troubling times, whether it's COVID-19 or just our social civil unrest that we know we've been actually dealing with in the last 8 months or a year or whatever. I think it's commendable and needed to be said that you could have made a decision that this is too much and right now the country can't handle another conference, but your leadership and your foresight and intestinal fortitude has made you and continue to move forward. And so I am excited about that. I think that's worth noting. I also want to thank my colleagues who are on this call and the community for showing up. This is a great opportunity for us to continue to share information around dementia in this all critical, crucial time where families, quite frankly, need it the most. And so in that vein, I just want to talk a little bit about perseverance today. Perseverance is essential today more now than ever. I want to encourage our caregivers on this call, on this conference, these next 2 days, to be encouraged, to continue to recognize that the work and labor of love that you are doing, quite frankly, is not in vain. We recognize that to family caregivers, your world not only has been complicated by COVID, but I'm sure it's been incredibly shortened and small. Your space has been reduced by COVID, but you have yet persevered in these tough times. And so I want to encourage you to be reminded as I think of the passage that says, be not weary in well doing. We recognize that as the COVID and as the disease continue to move forward, you too will be supported through this troubling time. And as we look at the world today, I want to focus us to remember that dementia continues, yes, to plague our family as at an alarming rate. And quite frankly, it continues to be the 6th leading cause of death and the only one and that high level without a cure or medical intervention at this point. But I want to talk about the flip side and say, despite that statistic, we should remain hopeful. And we should remain hopeful because, quite frankly, in this unprecedented time, we are working together like never before. We are coming together to collaboratively address this issue called dementia. And what I mean by that is that researchers are coming together, so scientists are coming together with clinical providers, and clinical providers are coming together with families, and we're coming together with communities and with community-based organizations. Everyone's coming together to address this issue succinctly and collaboratively so that we can take better care of caregivers and those who are on the Alzheimer's journey. We have recognized that in order for us to continue to excel this work, which, by the way, over the last 10 years have experienced great leaps and bounds of successes, of new information, and actually new ideas around what is causing dementia and how do we address that. Though we don't have a cure, we are identifying measures that we can put into place to improve quality of life, even with people who have dementia. And that's pretty powerful. And so you're saying, but Gina, what are you talking about? I'm talking about where social workers are now looking at how to address caregivers' needs in a very precise way. It's not a cookie cutter approach. It really is an approach to say, what are your family's needs? How can we best serve you? That in itself can reduce caregiver burden and caregiver stress. It may not bring a cure in the form of a clinical diagnosis, but it certainly can help reduce stress and bring support to our families in a way that is meaningful to them. So I'm excited about that. I also want to talk about how collectively we are finding alternative ways for families to keep their loved ones home longer, and again, to increase quality of life for the caretaker as well as the person who's on the journey. I'm encouraged today because we're continuing to build programs such as choruses that are using the strengths of family and the strengths of our community to engage people who are living with dementia, not put them in corners, not isolate them. I am encouraged today because we have library programs. We have programs that are being done even virtually, even in this COVID era, to continue to educate our caretakers. And we are coming together. Our experts are taking times, just like today, out of their busy schedules. All of our schedules are busy.
This is
So
Zoom meeting, but
Mr. Matthew Harold, I appreciate your comments, but hang on to them. I really want to acknowledge them later. But we are really excited, and we are fantastically, for me anyway, to recognize school-based activities are happening, even in this climate where we are educating our youth about what dementia is, because they too are care providers for their loved ones. So we're making some significant strides. You will hear a ton of information today around the clinical changes that are happening, the research that's happening. You're going to hear some good advice on how to take care of you today. I want to encourage you to listen to it all. And I want to encourage you to take heart to what you hear today. I want to take my last few minutes to really focus and salute caregivers, though, family caregivers who have been in the trenches for the long haul with loved ones. And I want to offer you, excuse me, just 3 quick suggestions of how you can helpfully help you continue your journey. The first thing I want to mention is for you to, one, recognize that your contributions are needed and valued. Sometimes caregiving is a thankless job, or a seemingly thankless job. One, because the person whom you're caring for may not be able to reciprocate and share with you their gratitude. And that can be hurtful, but it doesn't mean you're not valued. I also want you to understand that I've learned over time that over the years, many times people want to say thank you, but don't understand how, or they want to show gratitude, but aren't quite sure how. And so caregiving feels quite thankless. But I want to say that it is your higher call, your higher purpose, because the reality is, and we all know this, not everyone could do what you do. And so you are highly valued for your work and for your love and compassion that you're showing your loved one. I want you to accept, number 2, accept that your personal best is good enough. We often criticize ourselves as caregivers. We don't recognize that we are doing our best and honor that. So I want you to remember, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You are not competing with anyone. You are caregiving out of love, out of dignity, out of respect, to the best of your ability. And that, my friends, is good enough. Be not weary, and don't judge yourselves based on what others are saying they're doing. I always raise my eyebrow at those caretakers who say, everything's perfect, it's all fantastic. I raise an eyebrow and I watch out for them, because we know there is a potential of them actually imploding because they may not be being honest with themselves. So be mindful, you are good enough. And then the last thing I want to give you as a tidbit of information is give yourself permission to take a time out. As First Lady Evers said, self-care is critical. And I know timeouts used to be for our little children, right? Our 2-year, 3-year-old, 5-year. But I'm saying give yourself permission. I take timeouts when it comes to caregiving. I find a nice space. And I know with COVID, let me be clear, it can be a little complicated because we're all in the same space. But find yourself a good, safe space away. Cuddle up with yourself. Learn information during that time. Sip on some tea during that time. Find ways to give yourself calm, to give yourself peace, to reset, to recharge, to reboost, because that is how you're going to continue to make it on this journey. I encourage you, as you are giving yourself a time out, recognize what resources are out there. Continue to educate yourself on the knowledge of the trajectory and the pathway of this disease. I want you to also realize that you are not alone. As you take your time out, reflect on those who are your care supports and utilize them. And then I want to give you one other thought about your time out. Some of us still are able to have people to come in home to provide support for us. Take advantage of that. Don't watch over their shoulders. Unless there's some concerns, stop watching over their shoulders as if they can't do a good job as you would do. Realize that you are a great caretaker, but you may not be the only caretaker. And you really need to utilize that time for yourself to reset, to reboot. And so finally, as I close, and I think I'm within my time frame, but as I close out, I just want to thank Fatu and the planning committee for this great event that you're hosting. I want to thank you for this great opportunity to present your keynote, your inaugural keynote. I hope something that I said has touched the hearts of many. I want to thank my colleagues who are on this phone who will be sharing incredible information with you today. I am thankful for you all to have the relationships that we have. Ayo, Obicha, I love you too. But can I ask you to turn off your mic for just one more second, Ayo? Thank you. And so I want to also acknowledge that all of you are rock stars in your own way. Do not discount who you are. Recognize that you are an asset to all of that is happening, and we need you as a caregiver. We need you guys as professional providers. We need you as social workers, as scientists, as just John Q. Public. We need you to, as we advocate for change in the future, and we thank you for all of your labor of love. It is not in vain. We will continue to move this forward legislatively. We will continue to move this agenda forward in the research world and in the community world. And I thank you and God bless you and have a wonderful conference.
Woo. Well, thank you. What a way to start. What a way to start the day. That was beautiful. Please join me in virtual virtual applause for this incredible, incredible person. And like you heard from the professional, Miss Gina Harris, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So please always remember to take time to recharge and bring your best self to whatever you're doing. She also reminded us of the strength of family and community in this great work. And that is something that I think everybody should think about and pay attention to. Thank you so very much. Thank you.